Hello everyone. Today, I am going to the forest and want to spend the night there in a tiny abandoned hut that I found a few years ago. It is summer now, and at this time of year there are a lot of mosquitoes that bother me and my dogs. To prevent mosquitoes from biting me too much, I use repellents. On the way to the cabin, I pick wild edible mushrooms. If I manage to gather enough mushrooms, I will cook them. Unfortunately, many of the mushrooms have been eaten by worms. On my way, I came across bear tracks. The bear tracks are not small. The bear is somewhere nearby, and I need to be careful. But when I have dogs with me, I don't worry, because the dogs will hear and sense the bear long before I do and will be able to scare it away. On the way, I came across this plant. I don't know its name, but it looks very interesting. If you know the name of this plant, please write it in the comments. So here we are at this abandoned tiny hut. This hut is small and was most likely built by a man who used to fish in these parts. I found this hut 5 years ago and periodically came here to see if anyone was still using it. Over the 5 years I've been observing it, nothing has changed, and it seems that the owner of this hut no longer comes here. I always feel sorry for such forest structures, as they quickly fall into disrepair without an owner. Therefore, when I find such huts in the forest and see that the owner is no longer there, I restore them as much as possible so that they can remain standing in these forests for some time. For some people, these huts in the forest can save their lives. A person can get lost in the forest, and if they come across such a hut, it can save their life. To keep mosquitoes away from the hut, I will light special mosquito coils. These coils burn slowly and give off smoke that repels mosquitoes. This will make it a little more comfortable to stay here. Let's go inside the house and I'll show you what it looks like inside. There is very little space inside. The house is about 4 square meters. I think it is 2 meters long and 2 meters wide. There is a small wood-burning stove here. There is a sleeping place for one person. There are a few different dishes. There is a kettle, which can be used to boil water. There is also a lot of dry firewood here. Later today, I will definitely try to light this stove to see how it works and how warm the house will be when the wood-burning stove is lit. Now I need to stock up on water. I found a 5-liter plastic bottle here. It seems that the former owner used it to bring water from the river. Now it's my turn to do the same. The river is not far from here, about 150 to 200 meters away. The river is very picturesque in this area. All rivers in this region originate from peat bogs. That is why the water here is brownish in color. This does not mean that the water is dirty. The water is clean and can be drunk without boiling. I often drink water from this river. I just take a mug, scoop it up, and drink it. Meanwhile, the dogs roam the forest and explore it. These dogs have highly developed hunting instincts. They do not live indoors as pets. They are true hunters and always live outdoors like wolves. Of course, these dogs have their own little wooden houses and are never hungry. I make sure to feed them. Meanwhile, I'm getting hungry. Now I'll build a fire and cook myself something to eat. I also brought gas and a gas burner with me. But right now, I want to build a fire and sit by the pleasant crackling of the flames. Besides, the fire will scare away the mosquitoes. I'll be quiet for a moment and let you enjoy the sounds of nature so that you can fully immerse yourself in my world. The water has boiled, and now you can enjoy a cup of coffee. Do you like coffee? If so, write about it in the comments or just give it a like. I didn't bring much food with me because you don't need a lot of food to spend one night in the forest. Now I'm going to drink a cup of coffee and eat some cottage cheese casserole with cherries. This canned food is specially made for hiking enthusiasts. It has a long shelf life. My dog isn't hungry, but I decided to feed her a little more anyway. And when the dog sees me taking out dry food, she immediately starts barking. My dog is always ready to eat, but if I give her too much food, she will become very fat and won't want to run around the forest and hunt. She will become lazy and will only be interested in eating and lying on the sofa. In general, it's just like with people. To be healthy, you need to limit your calorie intake. Do you agree? Great. I rested and recharged my batteries. I brought my spinning rod and fishing lures with me, so it's worth trying to catch fish in this river. This river is home to a fish called grayling, and you can also catch small pike here. I don't know if I'll be lucky today, but spending time with a fishing rod in my hands seems like a good idea. Yes, there was just a pike attack, but unfortunately, the pike missed and didn't hook the bait. Oh well, my dinner slipped away from me. Well, fishing today was unsuccessful, so I'll have to cook the sausages I brought with me over the campfire. day has come to an end. It's time to go to that tiny house. I'm going to light the wood-burning stove to see if it works. There's enough wood so we can get started. Everything is fine. The stove started up perfectly and the wood began to burn. The summer now and the temperature in the forest isn't very cold. So with the stove running, it will be hot to sleep all night. I'll wait until the wood burns out and only then will I go to bed. Otherwise, I'll sweat a lot and there's no shower here. There is a pillow here, but it smells moldy from dampness, so I won't sleep on it. I'll put the old jacket left here by the previous owner under my head instead. This jacket is soft and doesn't have an unpleasant smell. Well, the night in the cabin went well, but there are some downsides to this structure. The cabin has a frame system and is covered with fabric and plastic sheeting. In fact, it is a homemade tent, and you can hear everything that is happening in the forest inside the cabin. Perhaps this cabin should be renovated. When I have free time, I will turn this frame cabin into a log cabin. You can find small logs with a maximum diameter of 10 centimeters in this forest and nail them to the walls of the cabin, as well as make the roof out of such logs. What do you think about this? I think the house will become cozier, and it will be quieter and warmer inside. Today, I decided to cook breakfast on the gas burner. I'll make coffee again and eat a protein bar. I'm not very hungry yet, so that will be enough. Don't worry about my dogs. Yes, they slept outside. I have offered them many times to sleep inside the houses, but they don't want to sleep inside the houses, especially in summer. These dogs have lived like wolves since they were young, they have thick fur, and it gets very hot inside the kennels because of this. They are used to harsh conditions, and such dogs are the best hunters if you need help hunting birds or animals. If dogs live like domestic cats or dogs, they cannot be good hunters. So don't think that I don't love these dogs. I love them and I feed them. If you think that dogs have a hard time in the forest, that's not the case. They are comfortable in the forest and enjoy spending time there. I found a wood saw near the hut. It's old and rusty, but it should still do the job. Now I'll try to saw some logs with this saw.
Острое. Ну, стружка все равно, конечно, мелкая.
Yes, it's not as sharp as it used to be, and it's difficult to saw with it. You have to put in some effort. Let this be my morning exercise. It's good for my health and puts me in a good mood. Of course, it's better not to saw large logs with this saw. It will be a difficult task, although if you're the Terminator, you can handle it. We'll need to bring a new sharp saw here. It's hard to saw with this saw. My hands are already tired. I also noticed that there are 3 dead trees standing next to the hut. They are dry and large, and if there is a hurricane, these trees could fall and one of them could fall on the hut. There are already large fallen trees nearby. You need to cut down these dead trees that have not yet fallen and make sure that they do not fall on the hut. If there is a strong wind and you are inside the hut, a tree could fall on it, which could end badly for you. Today, I decided to go to the river again and catch some fish. But unfortunately, I didn't catch anything again. Most likely there aren't many fish here, or they aren't hungry, or I'm a bad fisherman. I decided not to fish for a long time, but to return to the hut and spend my time usefully. I'd better chop some wood so that I don't have to do it next time. If you have a cabin in the woods and a wood-burning stove, you can never have too much wood. The more, the better. As I said, there is a fallen tree here. It is dead and dry, which makes it excellent fuel for a wood-burning stove. I decided to remove the bark and chop off the branches with an axe. Next time I come here, I will bring a chainsaw and use it to cut the log into firewood. Cutting this log with a hand saw would take a very long time and be very difficult. I believe that if there is an opportunity to conserve energy in the forest, you should do so. I have been going to the forest for more than 10 years and have understood the most important principle. You must always conserve your strength as much as possible. This is the most important thing for survival in the forest. The wild forest does not forgive mistakes. You must always be prepared for difficulties in the forest, and they will inevitably arise. By the way, this dog is a West Siberian Leica breed. His name is Dimik. He is already 10 years old, which is considered elderly by human standards. Well, my little trip has come to an end. When the dogs see me putting on my backpack, they immediately perk up and realize that we are going on a trip, and they are very happy about it. And I understand them. I also love walking in the woods and exploring new places in my endless forests. Now we are heading back home to the city, but we will definitely come back here and to other log cabins, of which there are many in these forests. Thank you for being with me all this time. If you write a comment under this video or at least give it a like, I will be happy. Feedback from viewers is very important to me. It inspires me to make new and interesting videos for you.